What's up, Unbroken Nation? Hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world today. My friends, I'm very excited to share with you an excerpt from a book that recently came out that I've just been enthralled with. And it's called Radical Confidence by Lisa Bilyeu. Now, if Bilyeu happens to sound familiar, you may have heard me say the name Tom Bilyeu once or twice here on the show. Tom also previous guest on the show. My hope is in the future we will also have Lisa, the author of this book, on the show. But in the meantime, I wanted to read this because as I've been reading the book since it came out a couple of weeks ago, not necessarily in the way that I did, but in a very different way, in a way in which they had stifled their own dreams. And she wrote a line in the book saying that at one point she was trapped in the purgatory of the, and I was like, holy shit. That is a place where so many people are trapped. The purgatory of the mundane, just stuck in the day to day, the bad, and just reflection and thinking to myself, I resonate with this. Like, I get it. I get it. I know what it feels like to feel stuck, to feel like you can't go forward, to feel like life is insurmountable, that your dreams are stifled, that you cannot possibly step into anything other than what you're in and where you're at right now. And that's a hard realization, I think, for a lot of people. It was a hard realization for me when I recognized that a lot of the doing of my experience was at my choice. And if you know anything about Lisa, today she is the co-founder of not only Quest Nutrition, which became $1 billion company, but also co-founder of Impact Theory. She is the host of Women of Impact, an amazing, amazing show on YouTube. It's a podcast you can listen to wherever podcasts are listened to. And now an author. And I sat down and had dinner with Lisa and Tom and some of our friends in, I think it was February of this year. And we were talking about this book and this journey and her putting herself in the shoes of being an author and stepping into the discomfort of wanting to create something really powerful. And I told her, as soon as the book comes out, I will read it. And in fact, what I will do is I will give 10 copies of this book away to the Unbroken Nation audience. So if you want a copy of this book, I'm going to do this on a first come, first serve basis. And so what you have to do is go onto iTunes, leave a review of the show, screenshot it, and tag me on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Michael Unbroken. Both places. This is important. You tag me and you tag at Lisa Bilyeu because we're talking about radical confidence. This is her book, and I'm giving out copies of it to the first 10 people in this order that do exactly what I just said. So screenshot your review on iTunes, post it as a story or in your feed on your social media channels, and tag me at Michael Unbroken and at Lisa Bilyeu. So that said, I want to read this excerpt from the book because it was really moving to me. And I think that when you kind of sit in your truth, you discover that sometimes the very person in your way is you. And the book is beautiful, by the way. If you haven't read it, please do. Another thing I did to stab my dream in the heart, which I can recognize now, was not taking the time or energy to define it. I knew I wanted to make moves, but I stopped there. About 4 or 5 years in, I realized that when Tom and I talked about our future, movies had become money. We were trying to make money, which was to make movies, but we didn't break it down to see if the end was still going to justify the means. I'd never dug deeper into my dreams to articulate what making movies meant to me, or even which part of making movies I actually wanted to get involved in. Did I want to produce, write, or direct? Why did I have to be in LA to make them? Did I want to make features, short films, or animations? Because Tom and I never drilled down to the details of what we wanted or why we wanted it, we stalled at our first major roadblock, needing money to fund the projects. We couldn't see beyond that obstacle. We didn't even check the map to see if there was an alternate route. We just stayed there, him working his butt off at a job he hated, and me at home, trying to stay busy by organizing our sock drawer. Do I set them up by color or type? To make your dream come true, you have to know what you want, why, and be willing to move in any direction in order to make visible steps towards it. Hazy, foggy, Google dreams stay floating around up in the clouds. Specific, well-defined ones float down to earth to become a reality. That was a really beautiful couple of paragraphs. As I read it the first time, I've literally read that like 10 times. And, as I talk about on the show, action is everything in this world. If you want to create massive change in your life, you take action, but you have to take action against well-defined plans. You have to lay it out. We talk about massive clarity on this show all the time. What do you want? Sit down, take a piece of paper, figure out the who, what, when, why, how. You have to do this. I cannot explain to you in enough detail why it is so incredibly important to have massive clarity and then to make a decision about moving towards that, whatever that clarity is, and taking action again and again and again. And on a long enough timeline, if you take enough appropriate action, that dream will float down from the clouds and become your reality. I see it happen all the time with the people I coach. I see it with the people I look up to. I see it with my mentors. I see it with even some of you who listen to this show and you message me and you email me and you DM me and you talk about your victories, which, by the way, every single time someone emails me, I email them back. So if you're ever like, I don't know if I can like reach out and talk to this guy about where I'm at in my life, Michael@thinkunbroken.com is my email. You are welcome to email me at any time. No one on my team checks my email but me, and I promise you I will respond to you. That said, you look at these dreams, you look at the activities, you look at what you want in your life, and for some of us, we stifle our own dreams by not having clarity, by not taking action. And a lot of that starts because we don't know where to begin, but the best place to begin is where you are at, literally right now in this moment. By just sitting, taking a pen and a piece of paper and starting to create the context of what it is that you want. And then you start to move towards that little by little. And as you go, this thing will happen. You will start to build confidence. And in that confidence, you will reinforce your ability to create the life that you want to have. But it starts with first creating clarity. And so that said, if you have not checked out Lisa's book, I highly recommend it. You guys know I don't plug a lot, but I recently on Twitter had tweeted that this was instantly going to be a book in the Think Unbroken recommended book reading list. And so this is one of those books, Radical Confidence, by Lisa Bilyeu. That is a book I highly recommend. And let me be clear, in case you're curious, because we live in a world that we do. Nobody's paying me to say this. Nobody's slid up in my DMs and like, hey, will you do this? I'm doing this because this book actually mattered to me. I'm doing it because it was important, because I read it, also because she's a friend and someone I look up to. And, I think about our ability to show up every single day, and to do so without confidence is a very, very daunting journey. And so if you're feeling a little shaky, a little wavering in your confidence, I highly recommend this book. Even as I read it, I was like, damn, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. Executable, actionable, and practical tools are in this book. So that said, my friends, please go check it out. Leave a review if you want to be one of the 10 people who will receive a book. Again, this is in order, first come, first serve. So go on iTunes, leave a review about the show on the Think Unbroken podcast page, screenshot it, post it on social, Twitter, Instagram, tag me and Lisa Bilyeu, and we'll count down. The first 10 people to do this are going to get a copy of the book. So thank you, my friends. I appreciate you being here. It means the world to me. And until next time, be unbroken. I'll see ya.